Hey, this is Europe Terrorists Radio and Europe Terrorists TV. Coming to you with another report from my beloved Austria. Well, this comes from yesterday. Just seeing it now on my Twitter feed from voiceofeurope.com. Imam says he wants to make Austria an Islamic state and introduce Sharia law. An Imam of Vienna's Aj Sohana Mosque has called to establish an Islamic state and wants to introduce Sharia law on Austrian territory. Austria's Kronen Zeitung reports. Robert und Wiener Morski Asperger Wurfmark each Stadt in Österreich, meaning this radical Islamist wants Austria to be another Sharia state. What does that mean? Where Christians are openly persecuted and killed, those who are infidels according to the Islamic way of life are either persecuted severely, tortured, stoned, or killed, or protected by paying a special protection tax or forced conversion. Report goes on. The tape of the speech at the Azhuna Mosque, which is run by the VCC Cultural Association, has been delivered at Vienna's public prosecutor's office. According to the translation from Arabic, the preacher clearly wants to create an Islamic state and an introduction of Sharia law. The messages are focused on infidels as well. Local politician Leo Kobar wants an investigation into the case. I assume that in the background of this association is the dangerous Muslim Brotherhood. Because of the radical hate speech on Facebook and YouTube from the operators, we will inform the Vienna Public Prosecutor's Office, he said. Terrorist expert Amir Al-Bayati is also alarmed. The sermon calls for the introduction of Sharia and the establishment of an Islamic state. These tendencies are dangerous and must be nipped in the bud. Last month, a Muslim party leader called for the introduction of the Islamic State into Belgium as well, the separation of men and women on public transport, and introduction of Sharia law were parts of the party's plan. That's all we have on this. Now to my personal take. As a member of the Lorraine Habsburg family, I think anyone who makes such Islamic terrorist threats should be arrested, charged with being criminals and enemies of the state and country, charged with planning to overthrow the Austrian government and the Belgian government and wherever else these criminals are planning for the overthrow of Europe. It was a long time ago when such things were threatened against Vienna, Austria, Ostrich, when the Polish army, led by Jan Sobieski III, delivered and saved Austria from being taken over by the Islamic invaders from the east, from Turkey. So I'm glad the government of Austria is taking proper measures, and I would like to add that this organization should be shut down. Anything that plans to overthrow the Christian identity of Europe, either secular or Islamic, is a danger to our heritage of Europe, a danger as Christians in our our way of life. To them, to the Islamic terrorists and radicals who help them, we need to understand how they think. To them, this fight with the West is the continuation of the same fights our family, our ancestors, all of us had during the times of the Crusades, during the time of the battle for Vienna with Sobieski, the Battle of Lepanto. All these things are connected. If we want to solve these problems with Islamic terrorists, these guys are not dumb. These guys know their history and believe in their history and what is taught in the false book, the Quran, word for word. And they keep good memories of their defeats and their victories in their Islamic history. That is why certain terrorist attacks happened on certain days. Because it was a special event to them. Either getting back at a defeat that happened to them way back, or commemorating a victory against the Crusaders. That is why they call those they attack Crusaders. I'm impressed. No one, not even in the specialized services who are in the spy agencies who have to keep tabs on all these groups. What is their main connection? They all know Islamic history very well. They are guys who studied Islamic way of life, history, in their religion, who probably have doctorates in this stuff. It's like the guy who did ISIS. That's why these battles in Syria with Iran and their proxies over there attacking Israel or attacking or making it look like certain people attacked certain groups of people, drawing in the West. Because in their Islamic prophecy about the end times, that there is a certain part in Syria where they will draw in the West, the Crusaders, into this part of Syria and unleash everything they have in the arsenal. And to them that will spur the apocalypse, according to them. That is why everything we see on the news, all these different things about Syria, were these gas attacks real? Were these things real? Were that real? Then we retaliate. Then our countries retaliate. Are we playing into the hands of these Islamic scholars who are part of these terrorist organizations? That is why this report from yesterday about Austria does not shock me. Because they had Austria in their grasp. And they could have taken Austria. But God bless the Polish people. And King Jan Sobieski III came to the defense of Austria and saved Austria and Europe. So this report does not surprise me. Everything we're watching on the news, the current updates out of Israel about who attacked what, who sent what into Israel, and who sent what back into Syria. One, we gotta know our history. Two, we gotta know our Catholic history. When we Catholics, as Crusaders, went into defense of the Holy Land and of the Christian people, what events, what battles did we win, and what battles did we lose? And we connected the dots on a few of them when we were on Blog Talk Radio. It was so surprising. Excuse me. I got the chills. So I want to finish off by saying all the news that we're seeing in Europe about the rise of Islam is not by chance, is not by happenstance. They are following their history. And when you hear them mention people of the cross, who wore the cross when they fought these jihadis, their ancestors, back then? Crusaders. That is why when you hear them say, also, Crusaders, you gotta remember that they are thinking differently than we are in a secular day and age. So we need to learn our history, our Catholic military history, when we came up against these guys. And know that when we are seeing things in the news about Syria, Middle East, Europe, where Islam is rising, do not be afraid. Don't think it's just by chance it's happening or something. But these guys are well learned, well educated. Those in the leadership positions, like this guy, this imam. He wants to try what the Polish prevented his ancestors from doing in Vienna. That is taking hold of Austria. I'm thankful for the new government of Austria for being elected and working with Hungary, our other former country that used to be connected, the big Habsburg uh, uh, yeah, dynasty. Anyway, I just want to give you these updates and explain things about what's going on. But they have meaning and purpose to what is going on, and that we need to learn our history and our Catholic military history better to understand these things. Day is full.